Hello everyone and welcome to our YakShaver sprint review. Starting things off, our sprint goal was fixing a fairly invisible bug that was stopping people from shaving yaks without us being able to see that there was a problem, which was a big problem. It's fixed, but it's not in prod yet, so that's why it's not marked as done. We had 3 full-timers. Sorry, it impacted you and Levi.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had 3 full-timers and theoretically and Rick is now back as of today, so that's why he's got a little bit of time there. PBI is done. There was just when you oh God, what was the functionality, Stephen, that was causing this to happen again? It was when you were switching PBIs to another project or something. This top one?
No. It was when you switch the YakShaver off. And when you record a video,
yes, that's right.
There's
so now we've got functionality where if YakShaver is switched off, but you record a video, it'll ask if you want to shave anyway. That was working, but it was coming up with a timeout red error, even though it was working. So he's fixed that. That error is gone. Multi-tenancy, we do have progress. So the REST API endpoint for retrieving all tenants is done. Not big progress, but it's some. That's dev stuff, so they're not front end, not client visible. This is the bug I was talking about. So there was a subscription renewal issue where basically we're YakShaver is subscribed to some backend folders, and that subscription would expire because we were on a free version of some plan. We've now gone to the paid version of that plan, and that has solved that problem. The 2 website changes that we wanted, I don't know if you remember, but we wanted to move 2 of the blogs into a separate docs section. That is not a simple CMS change because it requires changes to the routing. So Josh has said he'll do it, but he is currently in Bali for the next week, so he's going to not do it this week. He's going to do it next week. So those 2, we've kept them in the backlog as blocked so we can remember that we want to chase them up on them. There was major progress made on global toggle solution. This was Lewis, sorry. It's not quite done. He's still got some final bits and bobs to go. When we started this sprint review, he had marked it as done and said, I've basically done it, but I've still got to do some tweaking. I said, well, let's get it not done until it's done. So he's apparently the tweaking is still about half a day of tweaking. So, but compared to the size of the whole PBI, that's nothing because it was a beast. That'll require some careful testing because it is replacing our global subscription in Teams, which is going to save us a fair bit of money, especially for larger organizations.
Before we move on, can I just ask, Lewis, what did you spend most of your time in the last sprint on?
On the global toggle subscription.
The last 2 sprints.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And Stephen, what about you?
I was just doing small PBIs, and there's not particular one took me the most of time.
Okay. And Rick?
Yeah. I think the one would be because I haven't got much experience on the CI/CD thing, so I was upscaling my CI/CD skills. So I did a bunch of tutorials. That took me some time.
Okay. Before doing that, I would be checking with Wixie or Gordon before you do a bunch of those things, because they will send you on the right path. And maybe the right path is what you're suggesting, but I wouldn't be generally suggesting that unless you've checked with one of the DevOps guys.
Yeah.
And Rick, what about you?
I'm just back from client work, so I didn't work on YakShaver.
Okay, good. Okay, all right. That explains a few things.
Cool. So code coverage has gone down a little bit. We have already added a note to say let's do some more unit tests while we add big chunks of new code to try and keep that up about 20% if we can. No production releases because Lewis's PBI is a giant and it's been released to staging in bits, but it's not quite over the line yet. Application health. So and that bug we were talking about is a good example of something that wasn't covered by this. So the availability, the net is not spread wide enough for us to really be able to say whether something is whether the application is available or not, because it only really covers part of the full ecosystem of the application. So Rick suggested we make some further changes to our application health checks to cover that, and I might just quickly YakShave that right now so we don't forget. Give me 1 second. Rick, help me out. Yeah, if I miss anything.
Yep.
I'd like a new feature for YakShaver, please. As you can see on my screen here, the application health overview. It at the moment doesn't quite cover the entire ecosystem of the application. There was a bug, for instance, recently where if subscriptions weren't being renewed to a certain area, then that would cause the whole thing to be down, but availability wasn't showing it. It was still showing us at 100%. So what we need is some more application health checks to make sure we're covering the entire application. Rick, anything else you want to add to that?
An example of health checks will be database, key vault, or function apps. So those are good indicators whether the app is up or not.
Excellent, thank you.
That is an awesome example of using YakShaver in real life, and
Nice.
good teamwork there.
All right, and did you notice that I paused before I pressed stop at the end to let anyone else speak? Because I
very
never
nice.
do.
Yes.
All right, we got 3 new people.
Yeah, 3 new people. I think the star that I can see is Seth, Levi, and Jack. So they should be commended for their usage. I think, Yuli, you should send this chart out to SSW all to say thank you for, once this bug from Lewis is fixed, I would send this chart out and put stars on those 3 people, which is Seth, Levi, and Jack, and also thank the newcomers as well. But or you could just put the red box around the main guys you want to celebrate.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's basically everyone who's not part of the dev team, right?
Yes, which is number 5 and below. Yeah, which
Yeah.
is great.
Okay, cool. So we got some progress on the multi-tenant client setup, and we got a little bit of negative progress on the CX because we had those new requirements that came in and they haven't been done yet. We did some R&D. Basic gist of the retro is just some slight annoyance that Lewis's big thing is stopping us from deploying to prod. That should be fixed by tomorrow or Wednesday at the latest, but in the meantime, it's meaning we're not seeing the value of the other work that the other guys have done. Okay,
I'd like to just contribute to this retro. Lewis, you're working on the most important thing, and Stephen is working on bits and bobs. It is always a better Scrum team when you are swarming on the most important thing. So it's not always possible, but most of the time it is. And I would have been saying, Stephen, I need you to be working on this. Can you do this little bit over here? Anything that you're blocked on, if he's helping you on those things that you can move along, or you're just thinking through all the stuff together, he's just pairing, watching you, contributing. That's what I'd be aiming for.
Right, okay.
So we've got a couple of 16s coming up in the next sprint. Maybe we'll swarm on some of those. Cool. All right. Moving on to planning. So our plan for the next sprint is to literally get multi-tenancy done. So the whole back end of multi-tenancy theoretically could be completed in this next sprint if we have a perfect sprint, which would be great. So as you can see, that's Lewis has got to finish off his global toggle, which we were just talking about. And then almost everything else is multi-tenancy. And then the client portal builds on that multi-tenancy. We think this bug will be fixed by the global toggle thing anyway, so that won't need any work. That's our plan. I'm going to put this video up on the YouTube channel as usual.
Can you show us the YouTube channel, the normal view, not this view?
Probably. How do I do that?
Try dashboard. No. Let's go to channel. And maybe go to the YakShaver homepage and click the link. Well, that's a very roundabout way of getting it, but all right.
So there it is. That's what it looks like.
Awesome.
Cool. And they'll be up there soon.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
See ya.
So